I was just 4 years old, standing in the driveway of my childhood home, and something quite remarkable happened, something that I can still feel in this much older body. I want to pose a question today. Did you ever have an experience as a child that felt like recognition, not quite déjà vu, something deeper than that? A sense of remembering something that had always been true. Because I feel that glimmers occur all throughout our childhoods, these brief windows where something opens up. And here's what fascinates me: when people have Kensho experiences as adults, moments of genuine awakening, there's very often this unmistakable sense of remembering, like, yeah, of course, it was always like this. And in that remembering, sometimes we're taken all the way back to earlier moments in life where we also remembered. And I am so intrigued to hear about your stories. So I'll share one of mine. I'm around the age that I would have been in this photo with my dad. We'd pulled the car up outside our house, nighttime, and in my memory, it feels like the first time I'd ever still been allowed to be up this late and outside. And standing on that driveway, above us, there was just so many stars, so many. I couldn't believe it. And we were singing, can you guess? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And as I sang, I was really wondering. And then my dad said, "Come on, let's go in." And well, I didn't want to. I just wanted this moment to go on and on. And then he turned to me and said, "They'll still be there, you know. They're always there." And whew, in that moment, something struck me like a thunderbolt. The obvious became obvious. And later, in my little bed, tucked in, staring up at the ceiling, I was in this state of recognition. And then, whoosh, I could see them so clearly. It was like there was no roof anymore. It was as though a giant had stomped along down the street and lifted the lid clean off the house. And there they were, all of those stars twinkling, laid bare and awesome, yet completely and utterly familiar. I'd remembered the vast spaciousness and that it had always been there and it would be there always, even on the sunniest days or the thickest fog or whatever building I happened to be in, or even if I was down at the bottom of the ocean in a yellow submarine, it's still there and it is still here above our heads, below our feet right now. And I thought that I'd always remember. And then I forgot. For many years, there was a roof firmly back on my head at all times. And it's funny how that works. We can feel, can't we, so entirely enclosed. And some buildings can act like pressure cookers where we bubble away in our own pot of energy, these thoughts, feelings, concepts churning around and around. But here's what I've come to see: that enclosure, that roof, it isn't really made of roof tiles and wood. It's not a building at all. It's made of our thoughts, our ideas, our concepts of who we are and what reality is. Actually, it's a very, very thin layer. If any of this feels familiar, I'd love you to stay here with us. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because this is exactly the kind of territory we explore here on this channel. Not as teachings or philosophy or theory, but as lived, felt, breathed experience. So reflecting back on that moment now, I noticed something so beautiful. How I wonder what you are. That question I was singing on the driveway as a 4-year-old is remarkably similar to the kind of question I and many people who have discovered the delight of Zen work with now, a Zen koan. Not a riddle that we solve with our intellect. It's a special type of question that points us straight beyond the thinking mind to what is really, really real and has always been. And that little Frances on the driveway, well, she was working with a koan. She just didn't necessarily know that. Wondering what you really are, one of the oldest questions there is. And children ask the whats and the whys freely, openly, with this wide-eyed wonder and curiosity that's so alive in all of us as children, without any ideas or roofs getting in the way. So I genuinely want to know, did you have moments like this as a child? Glimmers, recognitions, a sudden sense of, oh, yes, of course. Something that felt both completely extraordinary and completely normal, ordinary. Tell me in the comments. I will read every single one. And I genuinely feel that there's something in this that really matters. Those earlier rememberings, someone hearing about yours, it might help them to remember theirs too. And if you're new here, welcome. Let's explore the lived reality of awakening together. Subscribe and I will see you in our next video. Big love wherever you are.